Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Many of you might recognise this interior. Today I'm in my 2005 BMW E46 M3. If you're new to the channel, I'll just give you a little bit of background. I bought this car just over a year ago, and I thought it was a good example to begin with, to be honest, but I've since spent, well, it's similar to the GDP of Anguilla, I think. But I love it. It was a car that I've always wanted throughout my childhood. To be honest, most of the time I just have it in the showroom and I like to look at it, which sounds incredibly sad, doesn't it? But I just think it's a stunning looking car and I can't believe that I own one. My intention was to just keep it forever. However, my head has been turned. I'm starting to think that perhaps the grass is greener on the other side. I feel bad for saying this, but I've been cheating on my M3 with an 18-year-old German. And now I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to keep this one or keep the car which I'm about to show you. So perhaps you could advise me in the comments because I need your help. I'd better show you what it is, hadn't I? In fact, before I do that, I'll give you some clues and see if you can guess. So it's 18 years old, it's German, it has a handmade V8 engine, made by a man whose name I can't pronounce. And what else can I tell you about it? Famous owners include Steve Jobs, Tom Jones, and none other than JC. Not Jesus Christ, by the way, or indeed Jeremy Corbyn, it's not his kind of thing. But no, Jeremy Clarkson, he had one for a while. Any ideas? Right, okay, I'll just put you out of your misery. Here's what it is. Did anyone guess correctly? It's this 2002 Mercedes SL55 AMG. This is another one of those dream cars from my childhood. It's probably about as close as I'll ever get to a Mercedes McLaren SLR. This uses a 5.4 litre supercharged V8, which produces 470 horsepower, and it sounds like thunder. In the Bentley video, I mentioned that I bought two cars from a viewer down south, the Bentley and another car. Well, this is the other car. I told you it was something quite special. This has only done 17,000 miles. It's such a rare find to find one of these cars with such low miles on it, and it's like new. I also think this is one of the best colour combinations money could buy. Brilliant silver with the berry interior. Speaking of the interior, it's beautiful. You've got the dash which wraps around here with the contrasting red stitching. It's just such an event. It really is a stunning looking car, and like I say, it's only done 17,000 miles. When I bought it, it'd done 16,800. And you don't need to be Carol Vorderman to work out that that's less than 1,000 miles a year. And because of its low mileage, it is like new. You can feel the grain on the steering wheel. It's like reading Braille. The seats are completely unmarked, as are all the buttons and switches. It gives you an idea of what it might be like to buy one of these cars brand new in 2002. And back in 2002, this car would have set you back £90,000. That's in 2002 money. God knows what that translates to in today's money. I mean, £90,000 now would still buy you a house somewhere. It'll probably be in Wigan or somewhere, but still a house. The reason I haven't filmed something with this sooner is because I've only just got it back from the workshop. When I picked it up, well, on the drive home, the engine light came on. There were a few faults with it, mainly electronic or electrical problems. So I ran it to SPR and they've had it for about 3 weeks. And when I picked it up the other day, it was like picking up a new car. It's had a full service, a suspension service, a automatic gearbox service. It needed an O2 sensor, which is why the engine light was on. What else has it had? It had a brake fluid service, 2 new batteries, a new battery ECU or something. I'll go through the bill on another video. So my bill was quite large because when I picked it up, the boot wouldn't close properly, the roof wouldn't work, mainly just because it had been sat around for so long doing nothing. But anyway, I've got it back and everything works now perfectly. Back in 2002, this would have gone head to head with a 911 Turbo, a Jaguar XKR, what else? Probably even an Aston Martin DB7. And even now, after all these years, I just think it's an excellent cruiser. It's a luxury sports car with the heart of a muscle car. You get a proper 5-speed automatic gearbox. So unlike my M3, there's no whiplash around town. And that engine note, it sounds like gunfire. It shouldn't come as a surprise, but it is properly quick, this car. It's capable of over 200 miles an hour. I absolutely love it. It looks classy and dignified, and what I like about it is that people that don't know will just assume that this is just some old SL or even SLK. It's only the people in the know that those letters on the boot mean that it's actually something quite rare and special. Most importantly though, I love it because it's fun. You get the impression it's got a sense of humour, which is unusual for a German. It just feels like an excitable puppy, constantly wagging its tail. And speaking of tail, it is rather tail happy, this car. You can get it sideways very easily, you've got to be careful. Yes, I mean it's an old car and the sat-nav is ancient. I'm surprised they've used English rather than some sort of hieroglyphics. And there's only one cup holder. But those two things aside, it's such a great car to drive. Ramblers there, give me a dirty look. I do prefer driving it to my M3 too. It's just easier to live with. The gearbox is smoother and the ride is just infinitely better. This uses the quite complicated ABC system, which when it's working is brilliant. It does a good job at ironing out any bumps in the road. The seats are comfortable, it's just a pleasure to be in. And of course there is one thing this car has that the M3 doesn't have. A V8. So what I'm thinking of doing is getting rid of the M3, reluctantly, and then just keeping this as a bit of a toy thing. So what I was thinking of doing was perhaps raffling off the M3. Now let me know in the comments below if you'd be interested in buying a ticket, because that's something that I am considering doing. I just think with such low mileage I could keep this car for 10 or 20 years and it'd still be considered low mileage. And as we know, SLs are timeless. They're just elegant and classy. They never go out of fashion. I've always wanted a cool car collection, but the older I get I realise that's not really a practical dream, because you find yourself just using the same car week in, week out. And then by the time you decide to take out one of the other cars, the battery's flat and it's thrown on a new warning light for you to worry about. So I'm going off that idea. And listen, I mean, I can't really afford to do it anyway. I mean, these are first world problems, aren't they? So I'm not asking for any sympathy. So many of you have asked me what the second car was, so I thought I'd better do a video and show you all. I will do a proper should you buy video with this in due course. Also, before I forget, I'm going to do a Q&A video shortly, so if you do have any questions you'd like me to answer, let me know below. So yeah, that basically concludes today's video, so thanks for watching. Make sure you give me a follow on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Cheers guys. Better take it easy, the roads are a little bit wet and greasy.